All right. Let me mute this. Let me mute this.
Where the fuck is that sound? There it is.
Mute this. Welcome to the show, fellas. Boy, that chat is really chunky. I was worried because people weren't able to see it. It doesn't matter. Welcome to the Jaffe stream, the morning show where we can talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. That was Huey Lewis in the News, which, of course, if you're listening after the fact, will be cut because of copyright reasons. But I love that album. That's from 4 people, even in high school. Huey Lewis and the News were pretty big when I was in high school, and people still made fun of him. I was never the guy that knew what the cool music. Well, I knew what the cool music was. I'll never forget it. I'm going to get tickets to a concert, me and my buddy. And there's this real cute girl, and she's sitting there in front of me because you had to line up back in the day. It wasn't on the internet, of course. And we're talking and stuff, and she's like, where I'm like, oh, what tickets are you here to get? Because, you know, a lot of them went on sale on Tuesday mornings. And she said, oh, in excess. And she's real cute and everything. She goes, what about you? And I'm just like, oh, fuck. Richard Marx and Debbie Gibson. Fuck you. That's what I liked at the time. But the point is, my taste in music, I love my taste, but nobody else does. Everybody's like, where'd you get your taste, Jeff? Fuck you. Welcome to the show. It's good to see you. We have topics and whatnot talk about. I'm sorry, I got thrown off my game when my dog was knocking. I had to go to the door, and there was a package, and I'm like, we're gonna settle for a minute. Huey Lewis, yay, we're gonna restart in just a second. Look, man, you ever been to a live taping? This happens sometimes, right? This totally happens. Let me tell you something. This is weird. We're gonna get to the news and stuff. Jaffe, people can fly just fired 120 people and killed a project. I think that's Morgan. Yeah. Oh, that's terrible to hear. But you know, again, it's horrible. But that whole industry is changing. It's not burning. This is the mistake people make when they talk about the video game industry. They think that the industry is in trouble. The industry as we know it is in trouble. But a lot of people have such a negative view, and I don't really know where they're getting it from, of video games in general. Yes, the traditional way of making video games is dying, just like the traditional way of making movies and television has been dying, and people have dealt with the consequences of that who made a living in that field. But it doesn't mean linear storytelling is dying. Like Robbo in the chat says, yeah, it was due for a reset. That's right. And People Can Fly is a talented group, man. They do some really good stuff. I mean, I know they did Bulletstorm, and then I want to say they did that adventure game, the Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Was that People Can Fly? You've probably heard of their games. I want to say they might have even done Painkiller. Let me bring them up real quick and see what they've worked on. They've worked on some big stuff. And I think they worked on a Gears game, or at least helped out with a Gears game. Let's see. Well, they did Outriders, which was actually quite good. The story of that was really good. The game was solid, but the narrative was really good. They did Bulletstorm. They've done, where's their list of games here? One moment. Okay, About Us games. There we go. They've done Outriders, Bulletstorm, Gears of War Judgment, Painkiller. They worked on Gears 3, Gears 2, Gears 1. They've worked on Fortnite, Unreal, Infinity Blade. So, you know, they were a good developer. There's no doubt. But yeah, I want to say they had a game recently that was either canceled or came out and really kind of shat the bed. And that's the biz these days, baby. What I'd like to see happen is, you know, a lot of these people who are really talented move on and just kind of start working indie and making their own shit. There's a couple cool games came out yesterday from just a very small number of people. One's called Among Ashes, which I've been waiting to play. And that's, at least from the demo, which I played, is fantastic. So I do think a lot of these people are going to find a way to continue to express themselves in the medium. Morgan says if they downscaled to 40 employees, which is what it sounds like, I think they will shut down. Maybe. Or maybe what they'll end up doing is just kind of saying, okay, we only need 40 people now, given how much easier it is to develop certain types of games. Let's make a mouthwashing, which you don't need 40 people for that. Or let's make a While We Wait Here, which you don't need 40 people for that. So it sucks, but industry's correct, man. And this is not the COVID stuff. This is the issue with, just the market shifting, what people want, what they're willing to pay for. Morgan says, I'd love to see more 30 to 80 people teams. Atlas Monolith Soft created Persona 5. Persona 5 was only 80 people. I wonder how many people they had to work on Metaphor Refantasio. That, right? I mean, that's a really long game. And if you don't count the outsourcing of cinematics, which I assume they outsourced, I wonder how many people actually were there to make the game. Mutant Mo says a new Power Rangers game just dropped. Yeah, that is from Digital Eclipse, right? And let's take a quick look before we get started with the show. I'm curious, let me read. Do we like this chat on the screen, or is it getting in the way? Because some people say they want to see it. I don't think it does us any good. Let's get rid of that real quick before we get rolling. If you guys want it, I'll figure out a better layout. But on this particular software I'm using, they don't give me many options. But let's get rid of it for the moment. Widgets. We'll keep the alert box. Okay. And then we'll go back to this and let's look at, let's see the reviews on that. Power Rangers Metacritic. Just can't spell to save my fucking life. What's it called? Something about reader repulsa or some such nonsense. Being visually impaired, the chat on the screen sucks. I can't read it. Yeah, I got rid of it. Yeah, it's gone. What is this one? The Power Rangers Digital Eclipse. Rita's Wrath is what it's called. Okay, Rita's Rewind. Is that what it is? What's it called? Rita's Rewind. Okay, Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. Jesus Christ. Rita's Rewind review. Jesus, man. Hey, that's not bad. They got an 8 out of 10 from IGN and 75% on Metacritic. GameSpot didn't like it. 74 on Metacritic. Seems solid, though, for kind of what it is. All right, cool. Solidus says Soul Reaver just dropped. A lot of people excited about that. I get. Not my cup of tea. Never really vibed with that game, but a lot of people love it, which is excellent news. Excellent news. Okay, now listen, fellas, let's get rolling here. Now we're starting to wake up. What are we talking about today? Well, first, okay, so I want to give you, I'm going to need some help from call-ins in a little bit. We're going to play a game. My brother's, not roommate, but like fraternity brother at college back in the day made a game, a card game. And we're going to play it on the stream. I want to see what you guys think. I want to see what I think. So I'm going to need about 3 people to call in to compete with me. And I'm going to need the chat to vote on the winner. I want to see if this game is as good as I hear it is. We'll be playing that later. So if you've considered ever calling in, the links at the top of the YouTube page, let me know if you want to be on the show and compete with your old Papa Jaffe. Okay. Jaffe, your excitement for Todd Howard showing up at the Game Awards. I really don't care. I mean, I not because I don't like Todd Howard, but I mean, what do I care who shows up at the Game Awards? I'm kind of not in the mood to watch. I'm sure it'll be great because I like Jeff's show a lot, but right now, I mean, I don't know. Are we excited? Tell me that. Are we excited for the Game Awards? Do you guys really care? It'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to get high and watch and everything, but I'm not particularly, I'll be streaming it for sure. And it's a fun time to stream. I guess I'm just kind of like, I don't care about the musical acts. I don't care about anybody. I'm just kind of apathetic. No, it's not today. It's Thursday. I think at 5 or 4, the pre-show or something. I'm sure I'll get excited when I am watching it and streaming it and talking to you guys and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Are you excited about this show? And I don't think that I'm not knocking the actual show itself. I'm just wondering, is it that the games, it's pretty obvious who's going to win? Right. I mean, I don't even know if it's that obvious. It's a little bit of a toss up this year, right? It could be Astrobot. It could be Metaphor. It could be Black Myth, but I don't think so. Would Huey Lewis and the News change your mind if they played the Game Awards? Probably. Look, man, I'm 53 years old, right? So if somebody wanted to do like a 70s, 80s, 90s retro game awards, and they wanted to have music from that period, and they wanted to have game awards from that period, and they want to trot out, David Crane, who made Pitfall, sure, I'd be excited. But it's fine. It's fine. I don't know. I just, whatever. I don't know. I'm just chilling. I don't have any energy today. I don't know why. I didn't sleep good last night. Maybe that's what it is. But all I know is everyone will be angry if Elden Ring wins, says Black Cat. I won't. Who cares? Who cares? What do you care? But here's what I'll tell you though. Did you see the BAFTAs came out today, and they said, hey, here's what's nominated, or not the nominations, but here's what is eligible. And they said, yeah, you can't do DLC. So I know a lot of people will be happy about that. I don't, again, it's so weird to me. It's kind of like, what does it really mean to win Game of the Year award? It's like, what won 2 years ago? You don't even remember. So, and it's, did you enjoy Elden Ring DLC? Did you even play it? Did you see the games that are up for like the user choice that is 100% user voted yesterday? 3 of them are like gotcha games, like Zenless Zone Zero and Genshin Impact, and one other I've never even heard of. And then you've got Wukong. And then there was one other one, which maybe it was Stellar Blade. I don't know what it was, but this is all stupid. It doesn't mean anything. What I'm more interested, what I'm more interested in? Here's what I would say. Here are the awards that matter to me. I want to see the most hours put into games, and that doesn't even matter really, because some games are short and you're done in 5 hours. Doesn't mean it's not good, but I would love to see, the games that brought people the most joy this year, or the games that people, give me that award. How many hours, what game was played the most this year? That's an interesting stat I'd like to see awarded. Or what game got multiple playthroughs, or what game inspired the most tattoos or fan art, or what game, did somebody, what's the name of somebody in a game that people named their kids this year? I mean, things that are actually, hitting culture, and not just like some shit like, a bunch of weebs wrote in and said, I love the girls and then with some zeros. Yeah, game that had that's a good one, Van. Game that had God damn it, Jaffe. Game that had the highest completion rate. That's a pretty good one. Anomalous Play says Astrobot brought the most joy for the most people. I don't know if you can quantify that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Fuzzy Tomato says, yeah, Fortnite had 11 million concurrent players. That's the kind of stuff that matters. But again, whatever. I mean, who cares? It's just, we're all going to die. So whatever. Listen, speaking of dead people, I want to show you a picture. And then I'm going to feed the picture into, Chat GPT, because I want to ask it a question. But the picture I'm going to put up on the screen right now is a picture. I think this is from Life magazine or Time magazine from back in the 50s. And what it is a picture of teenagers in like the mid 50s, right? And what's striking about this image to me is you've got these dudes are just hanging out talking. This girl and this guy are vibing. This girl and this guy are vibing. This girl and this guy are vibing. Look at this girl, this poor son of a bitch. Look at her. Nobody's talking to her. She's looking over at this guy. She likes this guy with all her heart and soul, and she's just trying to be friendly because this is probably your best friend, and he really goddamn it, picked her. But I want to see. I want to put this into Chat GPT real quick, and I'm just going to ask it who it thinks is the saddest character on the screen. Is what I would like to know. All right, so here we go. You can't view it. Oh, I'll have to send you the picture. Okay, no worries, lady. No worries, lady. Here you go. God damn it. All right, let's give this to Chat GPT real quick. Hey, I just sent you this picture. Okay, she can't do pictures and voice at the same time. Okay, no worries. So whatever. Hey, Tell me which person in this picture do you think is the absolute most pathetic, saddest person in this picture? Hello?
It's hard to judge anyone's emotions or circumstances from a single photograph, especially a lively one like this. Everyone in the image seems to be enjoying themselves, laughing, and socializing. If you're noticing something specific about a person that stands out to you, feel free to share, and I can try to interpret it with you.
Okay, well, wait a minute. So you're telling me out of all of those kids in that picture, you can't deduce the one that is probably going through a rough time? Think about it. Seriously, look at all the kids and tell me if you can identify the one that if you had to choose who is struggling the most internally, which one do you think it would be?
All right, I get where you're coming from. If I had to guess, purely based on the photo and body language, I might look at someone who seems a little less engaged than the others. For instance, maybe the person sitting slightly turned away, not making direct eye contact or laughing as much, could indicate they're feeling a bit left out or distracted. But honestly, it's all speculation.
Of
People
course.
are great at hiding their struggles, even in joyful settings. What made you ask?
Okay, wait a second. So if we start from the left of the picture, like camera left, and we work our way down the row, which number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. do you think is the one that is the saddest? Is what I want to know.
All right, let's break it down. Starting from camera left, if I had to choose purely on body language and expressions, I'd probably say number 4. That person is smiling, but there's a subtle difference in their engagement, less outward enthusiasm compared to the others. They seem more reserved or reflective in comparison to the animated vibe of the group. Of course, this is just a guess.
Okay, number 4. Let's take a look at number 4. That strikes me as odd. I would have picked number 3, but AI is smarter than me. Number 4, you can't even see anything. You can't even think. It's number 3. It's clearly number. Fuck you, AI. It's number 3. Look at him. Look at number 3. She don't got nobody. She's not going out with anybody this Friday night. They're all having the sex. These guys are going, hey, don't tell anybody, but I don't like the ladies. You want to meet me down at the river park on whatever the river park means by free? Sure. And then these are the ones going to the sock hop. She's just like, I want somebody to notice me. She's going to end up probably having sex with the guy who works here. He's like 26 years old and he's going to end up fucking her, behind the barn. I don't fucking know. But number 4 doesn't look depressed as fuck. You can't even see him. You can't even see number. Shut up. Tired of this AI bullshit. Morgan says you're always bringing up AI. Well, because AI is cool, man. You're talking to a robot. You have to understand, I'm a kid of the 70s where we had C-3PO, and that was like, wow, a robot can talk to you and shit. That was amazing. That's not fanfic. Look at the picture, man. But Jaffe, what if she sees dead people? Yeah, that's right. She's like, dude, I'm fucking talking to, I'm talking to fucking George Washington over here. You can't see him, and that's your loss, you fucking morons. Jaffe, I know you've been open about your political views, says Dougie Monroe. I'm not usually open, but I'd like to say, in American history, it's stated the KKK were founded by the Democratic Party. Yeah, I know. But the Democrats of old were the Republicans of now. I mean, if you actually are a student of history, Abraham Lincoln, who, famously was crucial to ending slavery, was a Republican. But the Republicans, it meant a very, very different thing back then. But, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's move on because I'm worried about this woman. I'd like somebody to, it would be so wonderful to track down these kids if they're still alive and find out what her life was like. She probably died alone, rotting in her apartment, an old biddy, and she was rotting there for probably a year before anyone even noticed. Isn't that terrible? But I'm going to hire a goddamn detective to track these people down. That's what I want to know. What happened? Like, seriously. Now, this guy was miserable his whole life. So, okay, I got it. She's Vera Dart's mom. Come on now. Listen, I got it figured out. We're just going to do these 3 because we cannot. Well, okay. This girl probably is on her third marriage if she's still alive. She's just going where the dick is and the money is. I can tell. He's absolutely was lost to himself. He never knew himself. He never got to know himself. He was just like, I was born good looking. I was born with money. And I went through my life and I never really did any self-reflection because I didn't have to. She was miserable. She probably had a bestseller or something written. She never even took out of a drawer. Like I said, she rotted away in her apartment, a shut-in, and she rotted there. And you only knew she was dead because the neighbor down below started getting this smell and it started dripping through the floor and fell into the Thanksgiving cooking. And she's like, okay, I got to call the police. This woman had a decent, normal life. She probably eventually realized she was a lesbian and moved to a farm with her love and died happy. These people died in a car crash. These two dudes were super fucking gay for each other. And even though they had to be closeted, they lived a very happy life up in Vermont. That's sort of what happened. And that's the sequel to It's a Wonderful Life. The guy's most likely gay, but she likes him, so he will pity fuck her. This guy, I don't think this guy's gay. I don't think if anybody out there is watching that's gay, hit the gaydar button and let me know. My gut says this is not the gay one in the picture. I think these dudes are gay as shit. She's probably experimented. She wants nothing but the cock. And she's just like, dude, I'll go wherever there's a paycheck. This is what I think is happening. It's what I think is happening in this particular historical photo. But this woman's the haunting one. This one will haunt me the rest of my life. Look at her. She's just like, she does not fit in. And at the time, what options did you have if you didn't fit in? I'm going to call my brother. He's a gay fella. I'm going to see if he's around, and I want him to look at the stream and tell me who he thinks is gay in this picture. Hang on. What's the show about? It's Jaffe stream. It's about whatever comes to my mind. But the Gavin and Games is this afternoon. Don't worry about it. He's at work. Hey, I'm streaming right now. Can you watch my stream? I have a gaydar question for you.
I'm at McDonald's waiting on my food, but
when you get back to the office, if you get a moment, text me that you're watching the stream. I have a picture up on screen and I'm trying to get a sense of a gaydar thing and I can't tell. Will you call me back?
I'll call you back in 10 minutes.
Yeah, call me in 10 minutes. Okay, bye. Okay, so we have an official gay coming to the show, boys. And they're going to let us know, which one. Fuck you, Rixie. Oh, it's cringe. Is it cringe, Rixie? Fuck you, motherfucker. I am a student of sociology. Okay? This is the 50s, you moron. This is when people had to be closeted. It was tragic. It was terrible. They couldn't be who they were, who they wanted to be. So I'm like, I'm curious about this. I don't like the 50s. Everybody had to be all, shoved down who they were, whether you're talking sexuality or creativity or any of that. Fuck you, you fucking moron. Why don't you call into the show? How about that? Oh, here he goes. Moby's calling in, boys. We got Moby on the stream. It's Plazuka's calling back. Good to see you, buddy. Hang on. Let me get this off so I can see you. How do I get you on the stream there? There you go. What's up, Plazuka's?
Moby.
You look like Moby.
Okay, that's fair.
Not a bad thing.
I can't disagree.
Tyrannus with 40 pounds carried. Don't worry about it.
I wasn't going to talk about this particular subject, but you're right. In the 50s, there was a lot of closeted.
Everything: gay, Jews, blacks, trans. You couldn't be anything but unless you were Jimmy Stewart, you were sort of, a bad guy. So looking at this photograph here, which one do you think lived the best life? Who actually was really genuinely in connection with who they are? Oh, there's an echo. Let me fix that. There's always a fucking echo. Why is that a thing? I know why it's a thing. Oh, I know why it's a thing. Hang on. Let me fix it. Entire screen. This. All right, that should fix the echo. If it doesn't, let me know.
I think you said it. I think you said it right. I don't think any of these people had self-reflection. They never had to. They never had to face too much adversity. So they lived what they thought was a happy life. But in reality, it's full of just hate and discrimination and them succeeding while others fail.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. What do you want to talk about? Somebody, Alex, like, what's the show about today? The Jaffe stream is free flowing, baby. It's still an echo. God damn it, Maverick. Okay, fine. There's the echo. It's gone. It's a free flowing show. Gabbit and Games is video games. It comes in the afternoon, just like your mom. It comes in the afternoon, and that'll be today. We'll talk all about the video games, but the Jaffe stream is where we kind of can go, you know what? We'll talk about where the fuck we want to talk about, because I need an outlet. Am I right, Plazukas? Can I get an amen? You
Amen.
Goddamn right. All
I'm
right,
not religious,
Plazukas, what do
but
you,
you can
what,
have
I'm not
one.
religious either. What do you want to talk about?
So I've been seeing a trickle on Twitter because I'm still on there, and I don't know why.
I'm on too, because but keep going. Yep.
And I don't. It's not an addiction for me, but it could be, unfortunately. But I see representatives coming out. I see prominent African Americans coming out and reacting to this dismissal of the Danny Pena trial. I think
I don't
that's how you-
even know what you're talking about. Can you educate me and the viewers?
So there's an individual. I don't know the exact name, but apparently he strangled an African American male on a subway that has had a repeated history with the law. He was violent that day. The individual is white that strangled the African American. He's also a Marine, and they had a trial, and it got dismissed essentially.
Okay.
And ever since then, there's been a lot of people speaking out, including his family, and then prominent people in Black Lives Matter, obviously. But somebody just tweeted today, Jamal Bowman, which is a representative for the Congress, and he was basically saying, you know, I know some of you are lost, or I'm saying it, you know, I'm not saying it,
Right,
quote unquote, but some of you are lost. But can we just have a conversation about, you know, the fact that, you know, is there anybody left? Because it seems like this is akin to white supremacy. And then if you take the United Healthcare CEO killer, who is white, essentially Caucasian, obviously not, obviously different ethnicity, but it's still the look of him, you know, just from appearance.
He's white
perspective.
passing for most people, I would say. Yes.
Right. Yeah. He's getting all this adornment.
Well, okay, so walk me through the other case. So there's a white guy who served in the military who strangled a black guy on a subway. Who was it?
Go ahead.
And which one has sort of a history with sort of mental illness?
The African American had the history of mental illness. He was arrested 40 times. Apparently, he was violent that day.
Okay, so the white guy who strangled him, is he saying it was self-defense?
Yeah, well, it was It was self-defense. It was him subduing somebody that was a threat to the subway.
So what's the problem?
Well, there may not be a problem.
Right.
I'm just trying to talk about the discourse that's happened after that, and how it seems like, and you've talked about this. Obviously, you're mostly, not that you're interested, but obviously you have a personal connection with LGBTQA plus stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also other things going on in the world today too, and because of just the recent political, you know, headwinds or whatever else, it seems like we could be going down to the 1950s again, where, you know, I don't know if you want to call it white supremacy. I don't know if you want to call it Ku Klux Klan kind of mentality.
So you're saying that a lot of white people are able to get away with stuff that kind of starts to feel like Emmett Till and all that shit.
I would say that that's going to be the trend, right? So you're going to have all these socialites, okay, like it happened in the past. All these socialites, Mika Brzezinski, well, she's, I guess, now Joe, you know, and I keep on bringing these people up, but these white socialites, okay, who acted like they were part of the Democratic Party, are going to now basically transpose their beliefs and become, you know, Christian, devout, whatever.
I mean, first off, the Joe, what's his name, Scarborough, and his wife Mika. What? I mean, I'm just because they had a meeting with Donald Trump.
But it's you have to look more into it. Like
here's what I'll tell you. Do I put it beyond people to revert back to their worst behaviors because either they feel there's safety in that, or there's power in that, or there's proximity to power in that? I totally buy it, but I don't see anything based on the case that you're saying, which I know nothing about.
Right? No, and I know you. I know you wouldn't be able to, and nor am I saying that is a definitive, like, indicator
Right.
of anything, but
Okay.
it's a sign, in my opinion, right?
All right.
It's
Well,
a
I
trend.
hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. I think the bigger thing
Well,
to be
obviously, I
worried.
hope I'm wrong too.
Yeah, but I think the bigger thing to be looking at that feels more reading the tea leaves is the response people are having, and we've talked about it ad nauseum, so there's no reason to retread it. But is the CEO killing? I think the fact of the matter is that people are looking at that guy, and they're going, well, it's the scene in the Joker where Joker kills Robert De Niro and says, I forget what the line was. It was a great line, but it's like, yeah, well, you fucking deserve it. You get what you fucking deserve, right? And I know that's terrible, and everybody hates people saying that, and they hate me saying that when I talk about it, but it's kind of true.
And that's the narrative, right? But what if this individual was African American and was the one being in charge? Would we have this same debate, or would it be
you would from me,
right?
You would
I understand that,
but certainly some people would probably look at it and go, oh, well, that he's a black dude, I'm going to take a different stance, because their racism would trump their sort of class warfare-ism or whatever. So I guess,
and we've been having this debate about identity politics forever now.
Yeah.
And Democrats latching on to that as a way to try to win elections. And how many of those people who have been a proponent for equality
I don't know
now,
I don't know
now just
but
switch
Plazuka's
sides.
I don't know, but I'm bored of the conversation, and I want to talk to my brother who's going to tell me which one of these people are gay.
Better.
But but listen, well, no, don't
Bye.
say bye.
No.
Before my brother gets on the show or talks to me, do you have a theory of which one of these people are gay? Which one did you say was the gay one?
We got to bring up the picture because I don't.
All right, there's going to be an echo, but just don't say anything, and then after I'll take the picture down, you can talk. Okay, one of these people, I mean, none of them, they might, none of them may be gay, but I sense there's a gay in this one, because there's something about this picture that just, it feels, and I think it's just this woman, but I don't think she's the gay one. I think
it's the two men at the bottom. Yeah,
those guys are the gay ones, right? Either that, or that's what I think is happening. So,
and that girl in the middle there, the one that isn't with anybody, she might be gay.
This one, oh no, she either wants to be with this guy or this girl, but I think she's I don't know. Yeah, where's her eye going? Interesting.
You never know.
You never know.
They may all be.
They may. This is the gay bar is what's happening here. All right,
exactly.
All right, Bazookas. Thank you, buddy. All right, so listen now. Okay, so Philip, my brother, is watching. The gay one is the wearing a yellow hoodie. Hey, like I said, I don't look at gay as a good thing, bad thing. A lot of you guys still use gay as a pejorative, which I don't understand. But that said, though, yeah, I mean, looking at this picture, so Philip probably won't call in, but here's what we're trying to figure out. We're looking at this picture. It's teenagers in the 50s. I kind of go, this is the woman who caught my eye at first, and this makes me very sad because everybody's coupled up and they're laughing and having a good time. And at least these guys are staring ahead like they're sitting there going, oh boy, did you catch the game? Oh yeah, whatever. But this woman is like trying to muscle her way into this little thing happening here. And I just think, I think the question becomes, in the 50s, when people were deeply, deeply closeted, like Norm Macdonald, shut up, Rick C., you fucking whore of a skateboarding Episcopalian. It's the Peach Pit. Absolutely. The middle woman, looks like she's casing the place for her boyfriend to rob. Yeah, he was a juvenile delinquent. So the question is, to my brother or anyone watching who's gay that has gaydar, and I know that people joke about gaydar, but I think it's a thing. It's not a thing. I mean, maybe it's a thing, but I don't know if it's scientific, but people are, can vibe in. Yeah, they're teenagers. They don't look like teenagers to you. So Philip, which one of these people do you think is the gay? Is the question. That's the game today. Rick C., you're not pathetic. You're more than welcome to call into the show. You clearly have a bone to pick. You have a beef. You don't like me. And that's okay. Yeah, Necro says, what about the photographer? He's into the art, so maybe he's gay. Could be. I'm not judging. I don't care who's gay. I'm just wondering, how many people? 1 out of every 10 is gay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 people at this counter. Somebody's gay. And Philip's going to find out who. There's a new segment of the show we call Philip Jaffe the gay detective. He says, I don't think gaydar works on photos, but let me see. Let me take a look at it. He's on the case, folks. Don't worry. In the meantime, but yeah, hey, Rick, bitch, come on in. I mean, seriously, I'll be nice to you, Rick. Why do I care so much about gay people, Jaffe? I don't even understand the question. I care about all people. If you ask why I'm an ally of the LGBT community, I have a gay brother. I had a gay uncle. I have a trans son. I don't know. Gee, ask yourself. And also because I'm a fucking human that likes to sort of help anyone that needs or ask or wants help that I look at and I go, you know what? Those folks are being treated like shit right now. Whether or not they're gay folks, Jewish folks, Muslim folks, anyone that I've always been that kind of guy, so fuck you. The ginger cunt from Terminator says Sungrad's video of you has reached over 100K views. Cool. I haven't watched it. I don't really want to watch it. Imagine being a straggler in a simp army. Okay. Philip says, oh, his gaydar is not tuned into lesbians, so there's that. Okay, well, maybe there's no way to know. By the way, we're going to play your friend's game on the show today. How do you, Ravnos, I just think it's funny and interesting. How do I help gay folks by looking at photos? I don't. In this case, I genuinely think this picture is interesting, mostly because I think the 50s, like I'm not saying anything wise here. Everybody knows the 50s was a time of great suppression of individuality for a lot of people. And this picture is mighty white because, you couldn't sit at the bar with the white people if you weren't mighty white. And because it seems so forced in the normalcy, and then you've got this one woman here that's kind of breaking the picture, and it's an interesting story to me. It makes me question things. Don't you question things? Don't you wonder about things like this? Doesn't it make you interested? Like, do you see a picture like, what do you go to a museum? Do you ever go to a museum and you just kind of go, okay. No, there's storytelling in every fucking picture, man. Choices. Everything we do is a choice, conscious and or unconscious. And in studying those choices and even just being aware of those choices, there's all kinds of narrative. There's all kinds of storytelling. There's all kinds of, potential lessons about the existence. What do you do? What do you mean? Why am I interested? Why are you not interested would be the question. Rick C, go fuck yourself. This show is not. How many times do I need to put a sign at the top that just scrolls the whole show? He says, I don't care what someone gets up to in their bedroom. I came here to hear about games. There's a show called Gabbin' and Games that runs every afternoon, Monday through Friday. And all it is games, baby. All it is games. This is not that show. There are 2 shows on this channel. Now, it could be, Rick, that's just too complicated for you. And that's okay. And that may be my fault. And I apologize, Ricky Ricardonian. But you can go or you can join in. Is the only thing you care about video games? What else? Let me ask you, Rick, before you go. What else do you love about your life on this planet other than video games? What fascinates your brain pan? What makes you wonder about things? Seriously, I'd love to know. Bukaki says this is the gay show. Sure, this is the show for the gays. Absolutely. I wish. Hey, listen. There probably are, but I hope there are gay YouTubers that do games and stuff out there. Because goddamn, I try my best to make it a safe space for everybody, but I wouldn't want to be LGBT in this fucking community. Fuck, Rickster, fuck. But seriously, Rick, why don't you call in? You don't need a phone. I mean, you just call in on your computer. You don't have to put yourself on the TV show. Just your voice. You clearly got a bone to pick. Philip says video games are so gay. Yeah, he don't even like video games, my brother. No one in my family likes video games except me. Philip coming up was like, he was take him or leave him. Neither of my kids give a shit. My ex-wife doesn't give a shit. They'll play stuff like, song pop. Ludo says, not true, Jaffe. I'm Jewish too, and you never help me. Well, what help would you like? I mean, do you really think I support anti-Semitism? I talk about that as well. But in Rick is gone now. Where'd Rick? Hello, Steffi. Rick is left. He's left the building. It bothers me. I don't like losing people. I don't like leaving people behind. Games are for kids, says Adipai. All right, who do we got here? We got Alex. Here we go. Alex, turn down your. No, Alex, can't. Come on, buddy. Yeah, I can hear you, but hang on. You got to turn your fucking shit down. Oh my god. All right, just wait. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Okay. Alex, it's Jaffe. Oh my god, turn your shit down.
Turn what down?
Okay. P Turtle, it's Jaffe.
Peter?
Oh my god. Okay, forget it. I'll get back to you guys later. Philip says he doesn't know which one of these folks is gay. So who knows? Okay, let's move on, shall we? Because it is what it is. Look at this. I'll bring you guys in a minute. I don't know why there's an echo. We'll figure it out in a second. When I was a kid, there are these things called the big wheels. These are the big wheels. And this guy, I follow this guy, Super 70 Sports. He says, let me tell you something right now. If they made these sweet bastards in adult sizes, I know some of us would still take it to the streets like the goddamn Doobie Brothers. And so I started thinking, do they make big wheels for adults? And it turns out they do. They make adult size big wheels, right? Well, that's pretty cool. I got excited for a minute. And then I said, of course, well, what if they, you could build a whole business with this? You could get adult size big wheels and have courses, and you could mount like laser tag guns to them. I had the Green Machine too. The Green Machine was amazing. Think about that. You could have big wheels for grown-ups and teenagers, and you could have guns attached to them that are laser tag guns, and you could basically have big wheel combat and really cool sets and environments. Come on now. That's pretty cool. That's pretty fucking cool. Oh my God. I don't care if Italian people are white or not. I don't give a shit, Dark Shadowy Place. A lot of people are white passing that are Italian. I don't know. They're white enough. If you want to call them white passing, I don't know. They're just people, man. I don't think about it. People tell me that I'm not white. I said I'm white once. They said, you're not white, you're Jewish. I'm like, well, Jewish is a religion, but okay. Fine. But okay, sure. If you want to talk ethnicity, half of me is Jewish. The other half is a lot of different things. So I don't know what to tell you. Addie Pie says you're not white, Jaffe. Okay. I don't care. Why do you guys care? The inchworm. There was the inchworm one wasn't really a fast one, like a fast ride. There was the big wheel and the Green Machine. And then the inchworm, I think, was like for little toddlers and shit. But these motorized things are not, these are things you pedal. This is not motorized, Matthew. So you have to fucking pedal these and you can skid around. And the Green Machine, was really cool because it was really weird. Green Machine toy, I guess. Yeah. The Green Machine had these, levers on the front that you could pull and like almost like a tank. And it caused the front wheel to turn that way. And and there were also pedals. So you could do a lot better skids and shit, basically, with this. Anyway, why do you guys care so much about what color people are? What's going on with that? I don't get it. You guys are weird. Okay. Look at this. Mind bending, it says. In 1954, a scientist created a tank to turn off reality. It's true. He stayed in it for 48 hours. There was no light, no sound, no gravity. And what he discovered, according to this story, haunts scientists to this day. Somehow I doubt that, but let's continue. He pioneered research into the mind's potential and believed we could tap into higher levels of consciousness. So we built a strange device to test the theories, the sensory deprivation tank, but he had no idea what was coming next. Let's play a couple of minutes of this clip. We're not going to play the whole fucking thing. Is this the guy that stormed the Capitol? Maybe it's his dad. What was that guy with the horn? Oh, he's muted. God damn it, Jaffe. What do you mean it's muted? It's muted? God damn it. Oh, yeah, it's muted. They fly now. They fly now. You know what? Fuck you. I'll fix it. I know how to fix this. Share my screen with sound. They need to make it like easier for me. Okay, here we go. All right. This should give you what you need.
And experientially.
Could you begin by
In the province of the mind, what one believes to be true either is true or becomes true within certain limits. These limits are to be found experimentally and experientially. When so found, these limits turn out to be further beliefs to be transcended. In the province of the mind, there are no limits. However, in the province of the body, there are definite limits not to be transcended.
you've probably devoted your whole life and
Practicing
certainly
that
many
speech.
decades recently to pushing to see, you know, what really were the limits.
Right.
Going into new realities, taking on the belief systems of those realities, and then coming back to your basic working reality.
Oh, look, he's got Darth
having
Vader's
those
hand or
beliefs,
Luke's hand.
integrating those
Look at that
beliefs
glove.
Right.
with your own. In your writings, you've explored almost every state of consciousness I could imagine, the various mystical levels of Satori, communication with extraterrestrials, communication with other species. You've established probably a more significant mapping of inner space than almost any other modern
Shut up.
person, and I think we all owe a great debt to you.
Oh my
for
God.
that.
But don't get stuck with those. I've abandoned all of them. It's
Okay.
impossible. Because there are infinities within the mind.
Okay. I believe some of what he's saying, but shut up. Because this guy, right? I mean, can't we just, where are the people that are like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I'd like to know what's going on, but I'm not going to bullshit you. You have mapped the subconscious more than anyone else, and we owe you a great debt. Why? No, he hasn't. Anyway, he had no sensation, no noise, just his thoughts. What he experienced was beyond anything science could explain. I mean, again, I'm not a skeptic, man. I'm not a skeptic. I believe in altered states of consciousness. Well, that's not even disputed, but I believe that there's other things out there like this that we could potentially reach in the mind, with the mind. I just think some of this is the way they talk about it is horse shit, and it hurts it. Lily noticed his mind drifting in the tank. Gee, I wonder why. Untethered by time or space. He described a sense of vastness, a cosmic connection. It was as if the boundaries of self dissolved, leaving pure awareness. I've heard people having strokes have that same experience. Absolutely. The CIA caught wind of his work. Why? They believed if consciousness could be altered, it could be weaponized. They quietly funded his research, seeing an opportunity to shape minds, but they weren't interested in peace. They wanted control, and they got it. But Lily wanted to push the limits. To understand the true nature of consciousness, he began combining sensory isolation, get this, boys, with psychedelics. That's pretty cool. He was convinced these altered states could unlock hidden potential in all of us. The results were shocking. In the tank, he experienced cosmic connection, cosmic consciousness. He could access different dimensions and talk to different species. He felt his mind stretch beyond physical limits. Tapping into what he called the universal mind. Sensory deprivation tank became a gateway. It inspired new fields of study, lucid dreaming, astral projection, mind expansion. Lily's findings attracted both admirers and skeptics. I'm not a skeptic on this. I believe there's a lot of this shit we don't get, and we should continue to study it. It's when people talk about it like it's lockdown science, they got it all worked out, is when I start to get super fucking suspicious, and I no longer trust them. Lily saw that consciousness changing wasn't just for scientists, it's for anyone brave enough that they could have breakthroughs. Look, I took a bunch of dope about 3 months ago and talked to beings that said they'd say hi to my parents for me who died 10 years ago. I don't know what's going on. Hello, Necro. Good to see you, buddy. Let's move on. Look at this. This is happening in China. China's unveiled a spheric police robot capable of pursuing criminals. We're all dead. The AI-equipped robot can operate autonomously. It can even fall from heights. The robot's capable of confronting perpetrators, shooting nets to immobilize them. Sounds like a fucking comic book. Then until police arrive, it attacks opponents at speeds of up to 35 miles an hour. There it is. It's not wow a tire, Ravnos. It's a fucking tire that has AI and it, can shoot nets. That's terrifying. It's terrifying. This is, they're going to go faster than you guys. They're going to have guns mounted to them. But here's what I think. I think the next, the real next, what's the word I'm looking for? The next breakthrough in the way people think about things needs to be maybe less clinging to life, if that's possible. Because people, they're just coming up with ways to scare the shit out of people at this point. These and the robot dogs. I mean, you know what? It's a fucking video game anyway. Just fine. Okay, kill me. Just kill me. I'll start another life. Big deal. What do you mean this is nothing? It is a tire with AI that can go 35 miles an hour and chase people. What do you mean it's nothing? I mean, come on. Philip says we're about to get what we deserve, probably. I've seen bits of Chappie. Looks about as... Oh, really? You want to take it on? Bandito says, looks about as tough as food delivery bots. Dude, this thing comes at you 35 miles an hour, runs over your fucking face. You're not going to be feeling good about your day at all. Although, to be fair, there is a guy in the back remote controlling it. So I don't know how much of an AI threat this actually is. So can it go upstairs? I assume so. It can barely roll straight down the road. Fine, you guys. Everybody, yeah, you're right. We're all safe. You know what? Tell me something. Psychosis says it's literally an Ed 209. What impresses you, Psychosis? What out there, if I were to Google something, what would make... See, Jaffe, now that's cool. Does nothing impress you guys? Jesus Christ, man. It's a fucking AI tire. How much better can you get than a goddamn AI tire? I was going to play Man with 200 IQ explains what humans are, but I mean, clearly that's not impressive. So, let's move on. Let's move the fuck on. You want to see the most extreme body modifications in the world? Of course you do. Of course you do. Fine. Okay. No, I'm not going to play it, Matthew. Nobody wants the juice. You don't want what I'm selling. I'm trying to expand your mind. But instead, we're going to look at the most extreme body modifications. How about that? Look at this guy. He was this and now he's this. Isn't that interesting? It is really terrifying. I mean, think about that. What kind of cycle? Let me ask my friend here. I don't need you guys. Fuck you guys. You guys don't care. That's okay. That's okay. Hey, I have a question for you. You know these people who have just incredibly extreme body modifications?
Sure. What's your question about people with extreme body modifications? Are you curious about the motivations behind it?
Pretty much.
Reactions or something else?
Okay, I'm really tired of it not giving me the chat GPT I'm paying for. I want the one that's really smart that I can interrupt and talk to like a real person, and that one's not working, and I don't really care about this if it's not giving me that one. Yeah, so no, I'm curious. What makes you do this? I mean, maybe you're just like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. Maybe it's body dysphoria. Could be that. Like you hate the side of your body, or you visualize it like it's something that it's not. And so you have to get rid of it. You're saying, where's Donna Versace? Donna Versace, I believe, got her face kind of fixed and worked on. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He became this cat. Look at that guy. Good God Almighty. That's something. This is why we don't have a create a character mode. Well, is it mental illness? Really? It might be. I don't know. In this fucking culture, how can you define it? Look at this girl, human Barbie. Good God. Look at this guy. Zombie boy. Look at that. Okay. I'll tell you what. Oh my God. Look at the tongue. Look at the tongue on that girl. What did this guy do? Human Ken doll. That doesn't look like a human Ken doll. That's just disturbing. Ooh. Look at this guy. Look at these fucking things up here. These looks like a Klingon. Look at that guy. What do you think? What do you think? If you were like, okay, you know, this guy shows up to take your, I wouldn't care. This guy shows up, take my kid out to the prom, as long as he's, you know, the same age. I'd be like, cool. At least he's a free thinker. What do I care? Right? I mean, who gives a shit? Now this, what the fuck? All right. Yeah, I don't care. Look at this guy. Lucky Diamond Rich, before and after. Motherfucker. Prepare to meet Kali. Damn. Who's this? Raiden Dos Karas. That guy's almost normal compared to these people. Look at that. Good God. You would put your Hank Hill on, you'd say, get out of your house? Really? I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. I'd be like, you know what? You're going to treat my kid well. You're going to go out and have a nice time. What the fuck do I care what you look like? This is great, though. This is fucking great. Although, what do I know? I had a guy come in to interview for a video game designer position once, and he was wearing cat eye contact lenses, and I didn't even know what they were at the time. One of the designers said to me, she said, oh, that's what that is, after the interview, because I figured maybe he had some kind of weird glaucoma or something. She's like, no, dude, those were contacts. But he didn't acknowledge them, and he just shows up to a fucking interview at Sony going, hey, I want to be a game designer at Sony Santa Monica. And it's not that I had a problem that he was expressing himself creatively. I just was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at, man. So if you're not going to tell me what's going on, I'm going to have to go. I don't know, you know, how easy it's going to be to work with you. Because what? But this guy's cool. I will give. This is my favorite. This is my favorite out of all of them. This guy, look, he even did his tongue. He even went in there and had his tongue tattooed. All of his teeth replaced. His nose cut off. What the fuck? I didn't fire him at all, Blanky. This is the Blackie Cat. This is the problem with the internet. I never said I fired him. He came in for an interview. Trust me, if he was amazing and qualified, I would have hired him regardless. I just felt that it was unusual that he would have this. And then when I found out what it was, not that he would come to an interview like that, but that it wouldn't even be acknowledged. It's like, okay, so were you, I mean, obviously he wanted to get a reaction out of us. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, but I didn't hire him, not because of that though. I just didn't think he was that great of a designer. There were better people that were qualified, you know, DEI and all that, you sons of bitches. Detachment, says Caliber, can manifest in many ways, including signs of sociopaths, insecure relationships, failure to achieve, fear to attempt. Yeah. I mean, they could be detached. They could be detached. Absolutely. But again, I mean, this is the problem though, with the concept of detachment. Don't you think it's the same response to detach from this environment, from this society? I mean, do you really want to fucking, I mean, you know, who's not detached? These kids, these fucking gay kids. I mean, why do you want to be these kids? They're normal. The world says, congratulations. You've won the normal lottery. This is more acceptable. Why? All these guys are doing is following a checklist. At least the other guys are kind of going, all right, well, maybe there's something I can do that sort of, you know, comes from internal. But I don't know. Maybe they're both detached. Speaking of, listen to this. You want a rocket arm? I'd take a rocket arm. Absolutely. Have you ever heard, now I don't know if my brother's still watching. He was a psych major, so he probably has heard about this, but the McDonald Triad. You know what the McDonald Triad is? I learned about this in the Ultimate Serial Killer book right here. Philip is watching. Philip, you know what the McDonald Triad is? Did you ever come across that in your education at the Emory? I'll tell you what it is, because there's a 7-second delay, and I don't like dead air. McDonald Triad. It's also called the Triad of Evil. It's a series of factors, the presence of any two which are considered to indicate a person might possess violent tendencies. The idea is the three factors together can suggest a child might grow up to commit violent acts. And quite often, these factors are found amongst serial killers. Would you like to know what the 3 factors are in the McDonald Triad? Brad says the McDonald Triad has a quarter pounder, large fries, and a Coke. Perhaps. Ember says, well-dressed and polite people sitting at a bar is not the same as a guy who spent $60,000 on plastic surgery to look like Gabe Bowser. Listen, the point is, Ember, if that is your real name, I can tell you these people aren't happy. I just know it in my bones. They're faking it. Polite people sitting at a bar is the most contradictory thing I've ever read, says Mutant Mo. That's right. Listen now. Here are the 3 factors that tell you what the McDonald Triad is. I think Ember's Arcade has all 3 of them. Animal cruelty, committing acts of arson, regularly wetting the bed. If these 3 things occurred when you were a child, you have a very high percentage chance of growing up to commit violent acts. Serial killers hit the McDonald Triad all the time. The last thing I want to tell you from this book, then we're going to move on. Do psychopaths know they're psychopaths? That's the question for you guys. Tell me in the chat. What do you think the answer is? According to science, according to therapists, if you are a psychopath, are you aware that you're a psychopath? Would be the question I have for you. In Japan, they dye their hair for the same reasons, detach from social norms in an attempt to stand out. It used to be more focused and called rebellious behavior. Shit's always changing in that field, says Caliber. Yeah, you goddamn right. You guys think they all know they're psychopaths, except Zan. Zan says, nope, I don't think they know. Well, here's the actual official answer. Mostly, yes, psychopaths are very aware there's something wrong with them, but since psychopaths don't dwell on their thoughts too much, most never go above this level. Since all psychopaths have felt the same way since birth, they go a long time without realizing other people don't possess the same lack of emotion as they do. Mainstream image of a psychopath possesses 0 emotional capabilities. This isn't true in reality. Psychopaths do have an ounce of emotional awareness. It's just dulled down. Isn't that something? The ultimate serial killer trivia book right there. Okay. Let's move forward with our little show here, boys, ladies, fellas, fillettes. What do we got? What do we got on for today? What do we got? I got a lot of fucking things to talk about. What do I want to talk about the most? What's really on my mind right now? I want to see this movie. That's what's on my fucking mind right now. Look at this fucking movie. Ever heard of this? Look at this goddamn thing. Look at this. If I would have made movies, this would have been, I would have made movies this way. Somebody should have pulled me aside after directing the Twisted Metal live action movies and said, dude, these are awful, but if you hang in there, there will be a market for people who make awful movies and you will do really, really well in it because you'll get a cult following. People will love them as much as they hate them. Because they hate them, they'll love them. Hang in there, pal. Because if I knew that you could do shit like this, I would have the biggest fucking career in the world when it comes to being a movie director. Look at this shit. That's the greatest movie ever. But I think it's from Japan TV or something. Somebody said, what's this from? It's the Horned Owl Muzu, the Horned Owl super synthetic beast of the Dark Science Empire Death Dark. He appeared in the 82 series Dai Sentai Goggle V5. This Muzu trapped children in storybooks. Don't you love crazy Japan? Fuck you, Addie Pie. Jaffe grew up. Go suck your mother's. I was going to say, your mother's dick, but you know, I didn't want to get demonetized. Now I just don't care. It's a kid show. It's a kid show. Holy cow. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. That's the same Al from Clash of the Titans. That's exactly right. That's exactly goddamn right. Okay. Let me get this off the stream. Let me bring in Alex here. Alex, why am I getting an echo? Where is that coming from?
Is the echo still there?
Yeah, I guess. Are you guys hearing an echo when Alex talks or I talk? Like I'm hearing my voice, but don't worry about it if the audience doesn't care. What do you want to talk about?
Can we talk about games on this show?
The echo is there. All right, hang on. And your sound's super low. One moment. What's happening? Let me fix that for you guys if I can. Are you watching this on the is your audio on, Alex, of the show?
Is now better?
Yes, that's better.
Oh,
What
okay.
happened?
Oh, I had to click on the echo cancellation.
It's funny when you explain it with logic. So what do you want to talk about?
I said, can we talk about games on this show?
You can talk about whatever you want on this show, but it just has to be interesting.
Okay, so I'll talk about something interesting. What about I was wondering if you know information on the sex of aliens, like how did they identify their sex? Because we don't see a penis, we don't see a vagina. So how do we know it's a female or a male?
Alex, you poor sad son of a bitch. What?
Like, have you seen Aliens?
The movie
No, the real aliens.
that come across the border?
Yeah. Well, no, the ones that comes from space. When they
There's
feel like-
no aliens that we've seen. Trust me, if we knew we had aliens that were actually aliens, your question would be valid. But no,
What about those underneath in the bunkers that the government has? Those are not real in the pictures.
Alex, I don't know, buddy. I don't know if they're real or not. I mean, would I put it beyond our government to have had aliens and kept them in bunkers? No, I could totally see it. And there's a lot of people who say that that's actually happening. And they may have looked betwixt their legs and gone down exploring the nether regions to determine the version of sex. But I don't know because I don't really know what that is, right? So my answer is you're asking the wrong guy. I have no idea.
So how do they create the image of an alien the way they created with the two big eyes, no sex on the bottom, flat person? Why do they create a person? Why do they create? Where's this imagination coming from? If it's
Okay,
not real?
well, the imagination just answered it, right? But that said, though, let's assume you're right and that we have aliens and they kind of look like the traditional ETs and whatnot. I mean, there is a theory amongst many theories. Just because it's a theory doesn't mean it's real. But I have heard that Spielberg, like they ask a couple of these guys, like Stephen Greer and all the people who do the UFO stuff, documentaries and whatnot, which of the aliens in pop culture most represent what you guys have actually seen photos of or had real experience of? And there's about 4 or 5 of them that say Spielberg got it really close in Close Encounters. And from that, there have been a couple theories tossed out that Spielberg is part of the disclosure and that he is sort of seeding information to the world via fiction that when they actually do full disclosure, we won't be so, I forget the term. It's maybe it's called ornithological shock or something, where your reality is so blown apart by something that you really can't process it. And it really fucks up society. Right. So perhaps the theory is perhaps that Spielberg has access to a lot of this information and they're like, hey, we'll give you this great career. We'll do this, that, and the other. But for us, you got to do this. Kind of like Kubrick apparently did the moon landing, whatever. And so now Spielberg is actually working on a new movie that is shrouded in the typical Spielberg secrecy about UFOs that'll be out next summer. And no one really has any idea what it's about. So it could be, the answer to your question could be that the aliens we see in movies, at least the ones that look like the Mexican alien mummies, like Gabriel says, that we see that they wheeled into the Mexican Congress, looks very much like the ETs in Close Encounters. And it could very well be that, he's seeding information for disclosure. Or it could just be that Ricardo Rambaldi, who came up with it, I know he did ET, he may have done the Close Encounters one, just kind of came up with his own idea. I don't fucking know. Do you believe aliens are real? Like aliens from outer space?
No, because it's not in any Bible. It's not written in any Bible that there's aliens. They say there's demons that try to go to the stars or up there to listen to what's God up to. That's what I heard in the
So
Bible.
you're more prone to believe in demons than aliens. Is that what you're saying?
Because there's no evidence of aliens in any Bibles or any holy book.
Okay.
If I
Fair.
haven't seen them. Jaffe,
Fair
one
enough.
more question.
Yeah, sure. What you got,
What do
buddy?
you think of the Haktua girl going to prison? I sent you the link.
I looked at the link. It says that I didn't see anything about her going to prison. I saw that she basically was sort of involved in some kind of crypto coin bullshit, and people think she was scamming them. It sounds like she was just more not very, read into how all that works, and people lost a lot of money. But I didn't see anything that suggested that there's going to be prison for that. It's just that she kind of,
maybe a trial, something like that.
No, I mean, I didn't see anything that says that she's been arrested or sued for it. So, but she might be. I don't really know. I don't follow the crypto thing. It's honestly crypto and NFTs and all that. I'm just going to assume that you got to be a lot smarter than I am to really get excited about that stuff, because I've had people try to explain it to me many times, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I still don't really understand what we get out of this. And I understand some of it, but so I don't really know what happened there, but I don't get the sense she was trying to scam people. Now, could somebody have pulled her aside and scammed her and said, hey, do this crypto thing. It'll be good for your podcast. Cause now she's doing a podcast, I think, with the Logan Brothers production group. And so maybe she kind of got fucked, but I don't get the sense she was out to scam anyone, but who knows? You never know. The best scam artists don't seem like scam artists, do they?
No.
No.
Okay, so Jeffy, if somebody goes to another world, a star, right, and in that star there's
sun.
Sun is all fire, and there's one with all water, right? So
then it wouldn't be a star, would it?
What would it be, a world? What do you call it?
Well, isn't a star just a big ball of plasma? And
the one you see in the sky that shines, right?
Yeah, there are planets around the star. Are you talking about a planet or are you talking about a star?
Okay, I thought stars were planets. No, they're not. Okay.
I mean, I guess one could argue maybe you could live in a sun if you have but no, most people don't consider stars planets. Planets orbit the sun, or planets orbit stars.
Okay, so a planet, let's say, of water, all water, and
yes,
and the time passes fast over there, right? Like one day over there will be like 100 days on Earth, right?
No.
I saw that movie. What's it called? With the guy.
It's called Interstellar, but it has nothing to do with the planet being made of water that caused. It's not like the planet has a magical property that speeds up time.
So when he went there, when he came back,
did you think they landed on the planet and the planet had some kind of property that made time go faster?
No, I thought it was based on facts that he came back. Let's say his daughter was.
Because that's the theory of relativity. You're talking about the fact that if you go away from somewhere, time, the perception of time, which is probably a biological construct anyway, will pass faster on Earth than it does or anywhere the further you get away from it. But it's not that the planet was some kind of had properties that when you landed on it, time sped up.
So you don't believe that the time goes fast over there?
I think if you were to go as far away from him, if you were to get in a spaceship, and this isn't like my wisdom, this is Einstein. If you were to get on a spaceship and travel as far away as Matthew McConaughey went in Interstellar, and you were to come back, your experience would be like, maybe, I mean, it would take longer, but let's say you could travel really, really, really fast. And let's say it took you 2 years, we would all be like, 1,000 years or 100 years, depending on how far away you went. would have passed. But that's not because the planet had magical properties. That's because you went away really far away, and you came back, and we experienced time different than you did because the further away you are, there's, you know, you're out of our sense of relative time.
Oh, see, you look at it that way. Okay.
I don't look at it that way. That's
But
the
is
way
it
it
the
is.
truth? Is it the truth?
Yes, Alex, are you a troll?
I am asking a real question. Look at the
How
chat.
are you
people.
asking real questions? I mean, do you really think there are planets out there that factually we found that if you land on them, time speeds up?
I thought the movie was showing us that 1 day or 1 minute in that area what he was spending, it would it's like I don't know, 10 days on Earth or something.
That
That's what
is
I thought.
correct. That is the perception of time.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that the planet made time do that. You
Mhm.
being far away and going far away quickly made time do that.
But if you look at black holes, they have the same concepts. You go inside and you don't know where you land or what happens. A man can't go inside because they're gonna die, obviously, but they can send robots.
No, they can't.
They can't? Why not?
Because it would destroy you could, by the time you got close to the black hole, it would just, you would just decimate the fucking, we don't even know. We've never even seen a black hole. Black holes are mathematically proven, and they are proven from a standpoint of like, okay, we think there's a black hole here based on the properties of various things that are happening around this area. But it's not like we can send up the James Webb telescope and aim at a black hole and go, at least I don't believe we've ever seen a black hole. Maybe we have in the last year. I'm kind of starting to think maybe there is a picture of one, but I'm not entirely sure. Shut up, Blackie Cat. What's that?
How are they gonna go beyond the human expectation? Like, how are they gonna go so far to discover other galaxies and places if they can't go inside a black hole or find a shortcut in the space? Because they can't.
Well, that's the one thing you've said I believe that's correct. I think I want to say the amount of time it would take to get to the edge of our galaxy is like, even if you're traveling at light speed, I think is like, I saw this the other day. What was it? It was like it was like 1 billion years or something. Hang on. How long get to edge of galaxy at light speed? We wouldn't survive. It would take 100,000 years if you're going light speed to get to the edge of the Milky Way. So yeah, if you are going to have real travel that far, you're going to have to find another way. You're going to have to
by an alternative way. Yes.
Yeah, you're going to have to have.
Otherwise, they can't. It's impossible.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with time speeding up.
No, it has nothing to do with that. But I'm talking about in general, for them to, let's say, discover another galaxy, they would have to find a phenomenal way where they can speed up more than light, because even light would not give them the access, right?
Yeah, it would take 100,000 years to get to the edge. So anyway, what's your point though? But yeah, you're right about that. So what's your point?
Okay, so it's very interesting. I'm just having a conversation. It's very interesting. I was just making sure that maybe you had an answer. I don't know.
I don't have an answer to that, but I would. Hey man, the theory I enjoy is the whole idea of interdimensional travel, and that's what the Tic Tac was. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but it certainly makes a lot more sense that if we're going to actually travel around this universe and multi-universes, it's not going to be with traditional modes of transport. It's probably going to be like folding space and time and shit like that, which I'm not smart enough to really get into other than at a sci-fi level of like movies and stuff. So, all right, buddy, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. Ravno says black holes have not been verified. I'm not saying we haven't verified them. I'm saying I don't know if we've ever actually seen one, but I do think we did. I want to say there was a picture published this year of a picture of a black hole. I think we got one, or maybe how scientists captured the first image. Here we go. There it is right there, of a black hole. And this was 2 years ago. So there you go. Okay, let's bring in Matt, who's been waiting to talk. Let's see what he's got to say. Matt, what's going on, champion? This Jaffe.
What's up, brother?
Well, you know, I'm doing a little stream, drinking some Diet Coke, thinking about certain ladies and their lady
Hell yeah.
and their lady parts. What's up, buddy?
So we were talking about John Lilly earlier, Davy Crockett looking
The
dude.
guy who did the sensory deprivation tank. Yes. Correct. Did you pass away? Are you having a stroke? Have you disassociated? You have vanished from my life, sir. Come back when you're ready. All right, he's off. All right. Okay. NASA released a whole simulation of what would happen if you go through a black hole. Yeah, I don't think it would be good. I don't think it would be good at all. But you know, it's cool. Shit like that's cool, man. I love that kind of stuff. All right. If you want to call into the show, the link's at the top there at the YouTube channel. Philip, if you're still watching, are you saying you don't want me to play this game today? I can play it tomorrow. Not a word. Not a word is a game. Let me talk to Matt first, then we'll see. What the hell happened, Matt? Jesus fucking Christ.
I really have no idea.
Yeah, well, God damn it. What's up, bud?
Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit more about John Lilly because this dude, at one point before he did the deprivation tanks, he filled up a house with water and put dolphins in there so he could train dolphins to try to speak English.
Okay, that's neat, but why did he have to fill up a house and do it? Why didn't he just kind of?
Well, he like had like so he was like having a person, people and dolphins like living together. So he like had this like compound that was like basically a house.
Okay, but he didn't fill up like a Victorian house like in the end of Real Genius with popcorn with water. You mean there was a compound of scientists and there were housing dolphins in the compound?
No. It was more like you would modify your house with water up to like, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet. And
that's awesome.
The people and the dolphins lived.
Hang on, what's this dolphin? I got to look this up. Dolphin house. What's his last name again? Riley?
John Lilly.
John
C.
Lilly.
Lilly. You can look it up.
I gotta see this fucking house. It
one
reminds me of the movie with the girl who gets caught in the hurricane in Florida and there's an alligator. That was great. It's got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but that was a great movie. Okay, I'm looking at his dolphin house. Oh my God.
One of the apparently one of the researchers.
See, this is the thing about people. You got to. This is what. Let me. I'm gonna put you on mute for a minute just because it'll get an echo. Hang on. Hang on. So look, this is the thing about people. This is why these people here can go fuck themselves. This is why you people out there that are chasing normal have it all wrong. Look at this motherfucker. This motherfucker was so interested in dolphins. He got a home and he filled it with fucking water. And he had dolphins in the house, man. That's the life you want to live. You want to fucking pass away and you're 95 years old and all you did was the normal shit? What kind of ride you want? You want the good ride at Disneyland, the cool one, or do you want to fucking, I rode the merry-go-round? Look at this, motherfucker. Fuck these dumb kids. I hate every single one of them. But look at this. Put a fucking dolphin in his fucking house. Rob says, this man is my new hero. You goddamn right. All right, Matt, what's going on? What do you want to talk about the dolphin?
Well, apparently, they're trying to teach these dolphins how to speak English.
How are they going to wait to understand English or speak English?
Speak it.
Oh, come on.
They make
with what? With what?
They make these kind of like chirps. I don't know. And they thought that they could do this. I don't know. But
are you saying they're going to speak it or they're going to interpret what the clicks mean?
No, they make these like kind of like weird noises.
Like that shit. I know.
Yeah, and they were trying to teach them to speak English. I mean,
all right. Well, Matt has gone silent again. The universe does not want Matt to share, but I will tell you though, speaking walrus, you guys seen the speaking walrus from the 70s? This thing is fucking weird. And obviously the walrus probably didn't know what the fuck he was saying. What was this thing? Speaking, talking, sea lion. Okay, I'll wait for the game, Philip. Listen to this fucking thing. This is Hang on, Matt. I don't know what's going on, but before I put you back
neither do I.
on, before I put you back on, I'm going to prove that your bullshit is not bullshit. Hang on.
Yeah, it's not bullshit.
Okay, so this is a walrus from the 60s or he died in 85, but he lived at the aquarium, I think in Texas. They called him Hoover. And this is pretty creepy. Listen to him talking to you. That was him speaking. He says, get out of here. Get out of here. Listen. Here, I'll show you. Here he's actually talking. That's creepy, man. I don't think he knew he was saying get out of here, but that's creepy as fuck. All right, Matt. All right, so what's going on, bud?
Not a lot. Still talking about the dolphins.
The dolphins. So what about them? What about the dolphins?
Well, apparently that with one of their dolphin subjects, he was going through puberty or whatever, and one of the female researchers to get him to concentrate jerked him off, I guess.
Okay.
Which is I don't know. You could read about that too. That's pretty much.
I'm not really interested in reading about that.
Yeah, I would. I'm not talking about you in particular. I'm talking about the audience if they're curious. But I mean, this guy did so much ketamine and LSD. He's
good for him.
Ketamine all the time.
Good for him. I mean, look, I don't think people need to do drugs to escape their lives. But if you're at a point in your life where you're like, you know what, I'm going to explore the inner space of the brain, and maybe that will lead to an outlet to something outside of the brain. And ideally, you're doing it safely. But I don't know if this guy was. I think we need people like that. I don't know.
How old did he live to be? He was old as fuck.
I don't know, but let me ask you this question. How old are you?
I'm 36.
Okay, the older I get, and I don't know if you found this, the older I get, the more angry I get at society that told us that, and again, I was never normal. I never chased normal, but the older I get, the more frustrated I get because you see all of this lost opportunity because people basically just chased after what was safe and normal. Do you find that's happening in your brain as you age, or you don't feel that way?
I'm a pretty wacky dude, so
good for you.
So I try to keep it weird, but
I mean, I don't try to keep it weird. I don't go out of my way to be weird. Some people in the past have thought, "Oh, Jaffe, you're just trying to be weird." I'm like, no, this is real. I just think, I don't know what's maybe you and I, pal, we've lived multiple lives, and so we the normal tour we've already done several times. And so now we're just looking. We want to know what's going on. Right? Maybe this is our last trip around. It's like, dude, you get one more shot, figure it out. Otherwise, you're going back in the hole. I don't know what's happening, but anyway.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever used psychedelics? Anything like
God,
that?
no. I want to. I have a guy in the stream who's like, dude, I'm here in San Diego. I do all this stuff. I know all about it. Hook up with me. Let's do this fucking shit. But and I've met him. He's not a freak or anything. I met him at Colin Moriarty's show. I just, I maybe what I should do is say, look, you and I are going to go out to lunch 3 times. I'm going to get to know you first. I'm not going to like go someplace with you and do some fucking psychedelics and I barely know you. But once I do
be comfortable with him.
Yeah. Even if I don't think he's a freak and I don't think he is, I'm just like, that's, I need to know you before I sort of take, dope with you, not dope, but psychedelics. But I very much want to do DMT and ayahuasca and all of that stuff.
I would say start with mushrooms because
I've never even done mushrooms. Never done mushrooms.
I mean, DMT is very short, so it's kind of like you don't get a whole lot of time to like explore the space you're in. It just kind of like being strapped to a rocket.
What is the most mind altering or opening drug you've taken that is really
DMT? But it's like I said, it's like being strapped to a rocket, and it's like it lasts like a minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah, but okay, so how long ago was it that you did the DMT?
I haven't smoked DMT in probably 5 or 6 years, I guess.
Okay, so what was your takeaway? What is the biggest takeaway that you looked at a value level for taking the DMT?
In terms of value, like
what did it show you, or what did you learn?
I did talk to entities. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know if these are just projections of my psyche and my brain.
Understood. Yep.
But it seemed like, I don't know, you get this like it's weird because the place you go is so alien and so different from
but I mean, did it make
before?
you less afraid of death? Did it make you appreciate life more? Did it not really, after a couple of weeks, the sort of amazement of it wore off and you didn't really change your life? I mean, or was it just like, yeah, it was fun, I moved on with my fucking life? Like, what was your...
I would say, like, with DMT, it's a little bit different, but with like something like mushrooms, or where you get a longer time in the kind of like realm it takes you.
Yeah.
You definitely, like, you'll start realizing like all this kind of like pent up stuff that you force to the very back of your mind, and you don't even realize it's bothering you, and then you're sitting there tripping and you go, oh, you know.
That's with mushrooms, or that's with DMT?
That's with mushrooms. I mean, I'm
really
sure with DMT,
I've never heard anyone say mushrooms do that, but that's cool. That's good.
Absolutely. Mushrooms, LSD, they're all very... So the reason I would say take mushrooms over LSD is LSD is like a 14-hour trip.
Yeah.
And mushrooms is more like a 6-hour trip. So if you're not having the best time, which happens to people sometimes, you'd rather be doing it for 6 hours than basically it all. I mean, both of these drugs, you're messed up until you wake up in the morning.
Right.
But the trip kind of like,
hey man, taking the first time I smoked pot, and I smoked a lot of it, I had hallucinations, which I know people say that doesn't happen, but I've had doctors say, yeah, you took so much that it totally happens. But it the only time I've ever, and again, I'm still agnostic on these things, but the only time I've ever had any sense of connection with spirituality is when I've been really, really, really high. And I think that's maybe the way it's supposed to be. I think those things, at least the ones in nature, they probably exist. If there is some kind of thing out there, whether it's God, aliens, programmers, whatever, I think it exists to give us a gateway, or it could just be fucking with our brain. I don't really know, but I like that idea. I like that idea better. I like the idea better, but who the fuck knows? You got to be an open-minded guy. You got to take the good and the bad, All right,
you
Matt,
only live once, man. You only live once.
As far as you know.
Yeah, right. Well, while you're living this one,
what does that even mean? I've seen people say that they've died, when they came back, they're like, dude, there is no concept of death. It's just like you're aware that you're no longer this thing called alive, but there's not this like break. It's just like you continue to exist, and you're like, oh, this is happening. But who knows? Who the fuck knows?
Who fucking really knows?
I mean, what a nightmare! What a nightmare of a puzzle box we've been put in. The one that scares me the most, Mateus, is the one that says that we are basically just like cows for aliens. Listen to this.
Vessels.
Yeah, the vessels are. That's the scary one. This guy, I think I have it up. Let me see. He basically was in a coma, if I remember correctly, and when he came back, he said, he realized, what the truth was, which is, let me see if I can find his quote. But the truth to him was, he learned that we were basically vessels, and we're just here in this reality, kind of like the Matrix, because we're being used and bred, so when we die, they can feed on our souls. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, that's terrifying.
I don't think they feed on our souls, but we're definitely meat puppets that have some sort of thing in them. Call it a soul, call it whatever.
Yeah. Shit's weird. Shit's weird. I love it. All right, Matt. Take care, buddy. Be safe.
Good day, brother.
All right, you too. That guy, thank you for the super chat. He says, Jaffe, what do you think about visceral games as Dante's Inferno? Seems to have been inspired by God of War. I mean, narratively, of course, it was inspired by Dante's Inferno. What's it called? It's not actually called Dante's Inferno, is it? It's called about the poem about Dante going into the circles of hell. But wasn't it called something else? But anyway, but mechanically, yeah, very, very much. It was inspired by God of War. I loved it. I've never finished it, but I played probably 8 hours of it when it came to Xbox Game Pass. I thought it was excellent. It was just wonderful, wonderful. Divine Comedy, right? That's what it's called. Yeah, that was a great game. Great game. It seems as people age, says Blackie, many tend to shift their focus from pursuing passions to prioritizing safety and stability. Perhaps this is influenced by increased awareness of death. I mean, maybe it also could be, you know, as people get older. Okay, here's what I have found, right? I was a hungry motherfucker when it came to wanting to be successful when I was younger. And that makes sense. I think that's how things get done. But I also think that once you have some success and you recognize, okay, it doesn't give you what you thought, it gives you a lot of great things. I'm not like, you know, don't knock it till you try it if you can try it. But it's not the cure all, which we're sold. And so then you start to recognize there's something else you're actually pursuing. So I think that's part of it. But I also think safety and stability, I think, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to think that I will always prioritize doing interesting things that make my brain happy, but I don't fucking know. Who knows, man? Maybe you start to realize how rough the world is. The older you get, the more you live in it. And you're like, Jesus, safety and stability sounds pretty good. Gravedigger says, my mama was in a medically induced coma for 2 weeks. She doesn't remember anything except she saw who she perceived as Jesus holding a baby. She asked whose baby, and Jesus told her it was mine. So Jesus stole your baby? Well, that's horrible. Did she wake up and reject Christianity? I don't quite understand. That sounds like a terrible experience for her. You know, okay. Okay. Hello, Anthony Smith. Okay. What else we got, boys and ladies and folksettes? Power Rangers. Yeah, we talked about that. Listen to this. What are the biggest lies about history that are still taught in schools today? Is the question. This is what people wrote in and said, right? Oswald killed JFK. Okay. Sure. I mean, I don't know. You know what my kids told me? They were telling me, Calvin was telling me about learning about 9/11 in school, and he's 19, so he was learning about it, you know, well after the fact. Oh, I'll do the 200 IQ guy. Okay. And I said, well, what was the lesson like? What did they teach you about 9/11? And he said, you know, it was all just very patriotic, and they attacked our way of life and all this shit. And I'm just like, okay, but they didn't tell you. And he knew. I mean, he knew where this was going. He's known the whole time. He's like, he certainly doesn't look at America as the bad guy, but he also doesn't look at the fact that America's hands are clean. And, you know, I'm like, so they didn't talk about the fact that at least one of the reasons they attacked was because they felt we were desecrating their bases and we were doing, you know, policy building in parts of the world that we didn't have, you know, control over. He's like, no. I'm not belittling Jesus. Twisted says, why does Jaffe always feel the need to belittle people's spiritual beliefs? I'm not belittling people's spiritual beliefs. That's not true. I am. Sorry, you're right. Here's what I'd say. I absolutely do not belittle people's need and desire and curiosity and searching for spiritual truth. What I belittle is the fact that anyone thinks they've arrived at the truth. That's what feels to me like no. So I will belittle that. Yes, you're right. Christopher Columbus being taught in schools. What a bunch of lies. 9/11. What a bunch of lies. I haven't watched the new Trump interview. Where is it? Where is it on? If it's something that won't get my channel fucked, I'll take a look at it. The school's in San Diego. Yeah. San Diego. The Earth is gravity centric and its rotation is remaining leftover kinetic energy from a collision. The planets and stars were formed by gravity. The storms are created by convection alone. They're saying they didn't teach that. Aryan migration theory, while there is absolutely no evidence to it, they didn't teach. In fact, the reverse is more probable given extensive archaeological and other evidences. I mean, school is, school is weird. They teach weird things. Do you think the 9/11 attack was somehow justified, says Embers Arcade? Justified. Well, I don't think killing innocents is ever justified, but I think that becomes really challenging when the people that killed our innocents can give you a laundry list of innocents that American policy all over the world has killed, specifically in their region. So, do I think it was justified somehow? You say somehow justified? Sure. I think it was somehow justified to the people who did it. I don't believe that they thought they were evil or the bad guys. I think they thought kind of like the guy who shot the CEO. It's like, you've given us no choice. We can't compete with you on, the guy who has the power, who sets up the rules and then says, I'll respect you if you play by the rules that I've set up that exist simply to keep me in power. And then you're going to have the gall to dismiss and attack the people that somehow find a way to play the game on their own terms. I think there was certainly some of that going on with both the CEO and the 9/11 stuff. Absolutely. But I don't think innocent death is ever justified. But, that's not the world we're in, sadly. Sure, Gravedigger. Gravedigger says that Jesus could be holding one of the miscarried babies. I get it. I was just kind of kidding. I don't really think she dreamed that or had a vision that Jesus stole your baby. But now that you've had a bunch of miscarriages, maybe Jesus was going, hey, you keep having these babies, I'm going to keep taking them. So, try again, boys. I mean, I don't know what he was doing there. It's probably just all in her head. Not to say there isn't some being out there, but and maybe that's how her, was like in the movie Contact when Jodie Foster finally sees the alien and it looks like her dad. I don't think the alien really looked like her dad. I think the alien's like, look, this is how we do it. It makes you more comfortable. So maybe the being came to her as the Jesus. And it could have been that. I can see how that's very comforting to think. And maybe it is actually true. I don't fucking know. But, I'm sorry you're having the miscarriages. And, I can tell you when we tried to get pregnant the first time, we miscarried. I mean, very early on. But given how early it was, which is relatively common early for, new people who are newly pregnant for the first time, even that was devastating for a few weeks. And it was like, we were only aware we were pregnant, or my wife was pregnant, for like 3 weeks, and it still just gutted us. So, I'm only making light of it because I'm an asshole, but fundamentally though, no, I'm sorry that happened to you guys, of course. Okay. There was one game Jaffe showed the other day where you play as a PLO member. Yeah, it was a terrible game, not very good. And that was banned in the UK, but it obviously can be, released here. I think it's on Steam. It's not a good game, but the guy basically had it where you're fighting the Israeli Defense Force, right? Do you think people that are evil are aware they are and will justify themselves? I don't think anyone's evil. I really don't. I don't believe in evil. I think people are just trying to get, there might be, the people who are like, the psychotic people that we were reading about. Sure. But most people I think are simply trying to get by. And look, they're trying to, the world is unfair. The world is insanely unfair. And, I was thinking about this today. I'm trying to think how I kind of had the thought, but it was like, even our creative products, everything exists. Like if we really had social safety nets that were meaningful, our creative output would be so different, right? It's like the stuff that people would make that would only be made because they're like, this is what I feel. This is what I think is interesting. It would change the world. I don't mean it would change it for the better or worse, but we are affected by, our culture is affected by our entertainment, by our art, whatever. And so much of our art is about, we need to create it to make money, and we need to, in making the most money, we need to continue to perpetrate ideas that may not be healthy or correct, but we know that they have been accepted. And we know that that will get people either in the theater or to the game or whatever. And that's the right and the left. That's not like a political take on it. It's just that, yeah, it's like the world's we're terrible to each other. I hope we survive long enough to, improve. Oh, did you? I don't know why I didn't see that. Hang on, let me see. It says somebody gifted a membership. Let me see if that's true. I mean, I'm sure it's true. I don't think the computer's lying to me, but I just don't have the data right here. Is this true? Yeah, there we go. Kevin, thank you, buddy. Kevin has gifted a membership to the Diet Soda Soldiers. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's very generous. Let's see who got it. Let's see who got that goddamn thing. Was it Gravedigger? Who got it? Charles Darwin. Survival of the fittest, baby. Charles Darwin was gifted a membership by Kevin. Thank you, buddy. It's very kind. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, sir. Welcome, Charles Darwin. We'll try to do you proud. Try to do you proud here on the show. Yeah, Kevin says, congrats to Charles Darwin, a true visionary and philosopher. Okay. You want to see this? I'll play a little bit of the man with 200 IQ. But if it gets boring, please, for the love of God, in the chat, say, Jaffe, enough. This is terribly boring, because I never know what you guys are going to like. So, all right, here we go. Well, let me talk to the alien first, though. Hello, alien. How are you, pal? Really? Alien. Oh, my God, dude. Are you there? Can you do it? Will you do it? All right, alien, you're here, but I don't know why I can't hear you, so I'm going to keep moving on. But I'll try to bring you back in later, see if your mic's working. But right now, nobody can hear you. Okay. All right, this is a man with a 200 IQ explains what humans are. Let's see what he's got to say to us. Let's see what we can learn from this fella.
I haven't gotten to any questions on consciousness, but in your theory, how is consciousness defined and where does it fit in?
Every quantum of the universe is conscious because it's a syntactor. A syntactor is a generalization of a computational acceptor. It's a proto-computational generalization of what in computation theory is called an acceptor. Okay, an acceptor is just a processing unit that accepts input from the external environment, applies a kind of syntactic filter in it to decide what gets through and in what form, and then, processes it and returns it to the environment. That's basically what it comes down to. And if you take a look at the structure of the syntactor, because it's performing that recognition function, okay, it has to be conscious. Every quantum of the universe is conscious, okay, but it's a generic form of consciousness that it inherits from the global operator descriptor, right? We have a more complex form of consciousness because we have more inherent complexity in our terminal embodiments and more self-modeling capacity because of that. We have a very complex brain that encodes all of our memories and thoughts and everything else and allows us to separate and resolve them. Okay, so that's how it is.
Dav also wants to know, have you heard of the work of Jonathan Mize, in particular Tractatus Logico Syndiphonicus, which proposes an exploration of CTMU in the manner of Wittgenstein's?
Well, I've never met Jonathan, but I know who he is, and I know he's done some writing on the CTMU. He's an intelligent fellow, and he's actually written a book or two. And as far as I know, he's still a member of our groups, but it's like I said, I've never met him. We've had a few conferences. I would have liked Jonathan to come to a couple of them, but he did send me a copy of his book.
Dav again has another question. Okay, would you be willing to have a discussion with Kurt? So theories of everything with Kurt.
I'm bored. That's all you need to know about me. A man with a 200 IQ is trying to educate us on humanity and consciousness. And I'm bored. This is the problem with me. Let's bring on an alien. That seems a lot more interesting. Alien, it's Jaffe. Are you there this time? Oh, fun for you. Wait. I don't mind if you're doing the voice thing, but we can't understand it. Can you go to the settings and bring it down a little bit? Don't hang up. Don't be one of those bitches that's like, oh no, he wasn't freaked out by my... There's no way we know what you're saying. I get. Try to use. Listen. No. I'm going to mute you. I'm going to mute you for a second, just so I can. Nobody's listening now. But listen, alien, don't go anywhere. So I get it. You're using a voice thing, and that's wonderful, and those can be a lot of fun. The problem with it is you have the numbers turned up so high, and you know what you're saying, and so it sounds to you like what? I know what I'm saying. It's decipherable, but it's not. Right. So you need to go into whatever program you're using and take those settings and kind of drag them down. I would say 50%. And then, let's see if we can have this, what I think you think is going to be a fun conversation. And it might be. I hope it is. Does that make sense, alien? Now you're back. Yeah, I'm going to kick you off. Not because not because I don't like to have fun. And I think that sounds like fun, but I don't know what the fuck you're talking about because it just sounds like noise. Alex, I'm not going to click on any links right now. Stop hitting me up in the Discord. I'll get to you after. Did no one else hear the alien talking? It made perfect sense, says Gravedigger. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Well, listen, look, I'm heading off into the sunset now. This has been the Jaffe stream. We're going to do this game later. Philip wanted me to wait and do it. This Not a Word, which is pretty fun from what I can gather. But that said, though, I will be back this afternoon with the Gabbin' and Games, which is all about video games. Okay. And I don't know, maybe we're going to get to a point eventually where we need to separate the channels because I'm trying to make it clear that the Jaffe stream is about whatever. It's just kind of hanging out and talking and looking up cool things on the internet. And then Gabbin' and Games is pure video game discussion, which is what's going to be happening later this afternoon. So that is coming up 3-4 o'clock California time. Can religion be a path to discover God, says Alex. I mean, if God's real, maybe. Although, honestly, if God's real or a creator is real, I imagine he's probably looking down or looking at us through the TV screen or however and going, Jesus Christ, could you guys please evolve out of this religion thing? I put it there so you guys could, move up the ladder, but it's no longer useful. It's hurting now. But anyway, let me ask you this though, since I got you here, I'll put up a poll. It's a good idea. I'll put up a poll right now. Do we like that we have these two kinds of streams, or should everything just be games? Don't answer in the chat, answer in the poll. Here it comes. Do we like the Jaffe stream or just games? Okay. Both are great. Only games, please. Okay. Here it comes. You can only vote on YouTube. This isn't about separating the channels. This is like, do you like two types of shows? Because I could get up in the morning and instead of do this, I could stream video games or have an AM Gabbin' and Games and an afternoon Gabbin' and Games. I don't know. What do you want? What do you want? So it would still be two streams. I'm just saying that the morning stream would be games as well. Or we would keep this and that, and all right. 85% say both are great. All right. We'll keep doing it then. We'll keep doing it. I like doing it. It's fun, man. It's fun to do. And I like taking calls and talking about stuff. And let me tell you something. Consider a membership, man. Helps the stream, helps keep things going. And as important, consider joining our Discord, because if you have topics that you want me to talk about on any of the shows, but specifically this show, then that's a good way to get it to me, or over on Twitter or whatever, because I'm always looking for fun stuff to chat about on this show. Right. But do the hat thing, says, what's the hat thing? Yeah, I mean, I love talking about games when there's something interesting, but it's not always interesting. Someone's just like, yeah, it's the same shit. I'm happy you guys want to keep them both. I like doing them both. Practice stream on Call of Duty. Yeah, for sure. We'll be getting into that. Hang on. Don't go anywhere. I want to look at this poll, but I'm going to answer this call real quick. Okay. Can you play I'm a Racist? I can do that on the afternoon show. I don't have my soundboard hooked up, basically. I don't understand what the hat thing is, though. What is the hat thing? Jaffe, why less women's on your show? Women are welcome to this show, and there are some women that watch, but most of my audience are dudes. I don't know. Bring some ladies in. Trust me, I'd be very happy to have some ladies join the show. Any ladies watching, you want to call in, there's the link. Get a hat made for Gabbin and Games and for the Jaffe stream. Oh, I got you. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. All right. All right. Well, we're doing both. We got 84, 85, 82% want both. I like doing both. So listen, I will be back tomorrow. Oh, I have been playing more Indiana Jones. Played a shit ton last night. Love that game. I will be back tomorrow with the Gabbin and Games. I'll be this afternoon with the Gabbin and Games, probably around 4:30, 3:30, whatever. Depends on how fast it takes me to gather some news. Again, if you're interested and you want to submit some ideas, hit me up Discord, hit me up on the Twitter. And in the meantime, I'll be back with this show tomorrow morning as usual. So, all right, that's the show, fellas. And thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys real soon. Like the stream, subscribe, be a member, tell your friends, go jerk off a dolphin, whatever it is you need to do. And I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks you. Thanks you. Thanks you, he says.